Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of If You Can't Handle the Heat. Just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, allvolleyball.com. All Volleyball is the biggest retailer in volleyball. Whether you're a club coach, whether you're a club owner, whether you're a player, whether you're a parent, it doesn't matter. They have any volleyball need. Any volleyball need you want, they got. Whether it's shoes, whether there's balls, whether it's jerseys, they got it. And better yet, use the promo code HEAT, all capitals, for 20% off. All right, enjoy this episode.
Yeah, you can handle the heat. Yeah, you can handle the heat. Yeah, out of system you can handle the heat.
Be like a shot. Welcome back to the episode If You Can't Handle the Heat, presented by All Volleyball. It's your boy G Swizz, the Gwiddy master. Next to me, the Gwiddy guy himself, Joe Worsley, and of course,
what's up?
all the way in Southern Europe, the Gwiddy Lord himself, Micah Ma'a, Gwidding all the way down to Louis Gwiddy. I was not planning to open up like that, but guess what? We may have the Gwiddy God, the Gwiddy Lord, and the Lord of Gwiddies, or whatever I called it. But the Gwiddy King himself, the man, the myth, the Gwidding Barbero, Erik Shoji. Eric, thanks so much for hopping on the pod, man. Thank you so much. I had no idea I was going to do that, but I just started talking and I did it.
I can't continue. I can't continue after that. I'm not joking. The last, 5 times I've opened TikTok the last week or so. Well, let's be honest. I opened it more than 5 times. It has been Luneburg, Team Luneburg, just gwiddying. I don't even know how to say it. All over the volleyball court. And first of all, I'm just impressed. Second of all, I'm like, never happened on my team.
No, the buy-in is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It is insane. And yeah, I mean, after Gage insulted my TikTok on your last podcast,
I'll get into that.
I'm excited to be back.
Right.
No, I'm totally
right.
No,
kidding.
he's
Top 5
right.
We've already
TikTokers.
talked about.
I was going to talk to, honestly, whether you bring that up or not, I was going to bring that up. I put on top 5. So for those of you who don't know, listeners, I did a top 5 TikTok counts. I put Eric as number 5 because I said Eric makes great content, but it's not for me. Meaning my TikTok consists of panda, Kung Fu Panda animation edits. It convinced gwiddies and stupid stuff. So your content is great, better than ours, 100%. But it's just for me, unless it's a Kung Fu Panda, Po, or Tai Lung edit, it's just not for me at the end of the day, I guess.
It's all good. No, we talked about it, and I was saying I don't even like some of the content I'm putting out there.
Yes, you do. You don't have to say. You don't have to say that. You don't have to say that.
It's TikTok. It's social media. It's whatever. We're good. No hard feelings. I promise.
But so like you said, the buy-in. Let's get into that a little bit. TikTok and stuff.
The buy-in is
in our
insane
team
on your team.
Yeah, it's like
really
we're
is.
after a game. We're like, we got a Gwiddy. What's the Gwiddy video? What's the Gwiddy? Everyone's like, all right, everyone stay to practice. We went an hour yesterday before practice, and we were all right. If we were sucking, listen. If we were sucking and we were playing terribly and things weren't going our way, we would not be doing this. We're like the last guys that would be doing this. But everything's going well right now, so we have a little. I mean, obviously we're still folks at practice, so we're training hard and stuff. But we're like, you know what? Let's show up a little early, and we just shot some Gwiddy videos and other videos. So we were just like messing around and whatnot. So yes, if we were sucking, we would not be doing this. But for you, but like I said, the buy-in is insane. So we have like directorial meetings like after practice times. Like, well, how can we do the new Gwiddy? You know what I'm saying? Like, we elevate it. But
It's like a video session for the next game, and then also a 20-minute video session on gwiddying. I'll just say gwiddying.
the breakdown.
For
Gwiddy breakdown.
That kind of stuff, oddly though, it does bring teams together. Like
It
if
does.
you can, like it's not like it really can go unnoticed, but it, at least in my experience, when you have things that are bringing the team together, it comes through it. Like you can feel it on the court, you can feel it in important matches, you can feel it when it matters, and so that could be also a reason why you guys are playing well.
I mean, honestly, buy-in is just important. It doesn't matter. I mean, okay, certain things maybe not, but anytime you can have a team buy into certain things, or whether you come together for social media, you come together for meals or drinking or whatever it is, wherever you are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, buy-in is huge.
When do you think it becomes like? Is there like obviously I'm not gonna say like smoke crack, but like is there like an activity or something where they cross the line too much? Like you know what I'm saying? Like if
I mean,
you're
I
quitting
would
and
say like
losing.
I would say team partying could probably cross the line. Like if you're showing up exhausted for training or for matches. I mean, last year we won the cup and we're almost like literally and figuratively hungover for the next game, like the next Wednesday, and we lost I think 3-0 or 3-1. So yeah, obviously if it's affecting your play in a bad way, like buy-in maybe not is the right thing, but every once in a while.
But let me tell you, we were bought in.
Oh, if it's drinking, you got the team here. We are bought in.
Polish man, Eastern Euros man, they can just down. They can down some rakia or whatever you throw in front of them, man. Like, Joe, what were you saying though? I was cut you off.
No, I was just saying everywhere we go now too. Like even the announcers or commentators or games people tell us we go into arenas. It's like Gwiddy, Gwiddy. Everybody recognizes us as the Gwiddy team.
Let's go, baby. But Eric, how do you come up with your ideas? Obviously, like after practice, like with like you do stuff and maybe before practice or not before, but
Well, I
getting
mean, I
extra
feel
reps.
like my content over here is like a combination of just showing people playing volleyball and then also some of these trends that are going on in TikTok and trying to make it relatable to volleyball players out there. So it's just a combination of, silly volleyball videos or people literally just performing skills and then also, whether it's the trends and making it relatable to volleyball. I like make things relatable because I don't know, a lot of our lives it's not relatable. People can't relate to what we do.
True.
So anytime that you can connect with people that way, then I think that's a good thing. But I also just like to showcase the guys, like my team, even though
That's true.
they hate my phone.
I
There's no buy-in over here.
We can talk about that. Once we pitch the Gwiddy idea, they're sold. Don't worry about that.
when you talk about showcasing, how difficult is it for people, like even that you talk to, because we've discussed this, and when we go try to tell people about our lives over here and tell people about the type of people and type of teammates that we have, it's like they can't even believe it sometimes. I feel like in the situations we run into. What is your experience when you try to kind of explain our lives in general to people back in the States?
No. Oh, it's tough, right? I mean, for us, it's like normal. It's almost like a boring life over here. We go to practice, we come home, we eat, and we get online and go on TikTok, right? But there's just so much. I don't know. For me, I try to describe the people that I interact with, my teammates, coaches. Going to the store, going to a certain restaurant. For me, that's just the best way to explain what we do and how we do it. I don't know. I always tell people like it's not that interesting, but they obviously find it super interesting what we do. But it's tough. I mean, that's why I enjoy when people come over here and they can actually see what we do and how we do it, and whether it's exciting or not. It's just a different lifestyle.
So you obviously have a huge following, right? Like just like obviously playing wise, you're known worldwide, known as the best libero in the world. Friend of the show as well, of course. And
Thank you.
But also, if you were to strip all that away, just for you from an influencer point of view, right? I'm sure you read your comment section, and I'm sure you have a bunch of comments like, "You're growing the game, you're doing all this, like keep it out, you're growing the game and everything." And obviously, we don't have a bigger following as you, but for the smaller amount of comments that we do have from our videos, like a lot of people comment that, "Oh, people come up to us," as I'm sure they do with you. "Oh, you're growing the game, keep it up, you're doing this for the game." Like, do you ever feel like for me, like I never felt like, oh, I'm doing this because I want to grow the game. Obviously, that is the goal, 100%. But coming from you, like a huge audience, is there ever like a thing where you're like, oh, you feel like this, how do I say? What's the word I'm looking for? This weight, this responsibility and weight, like, oh, like to grow the game or whatnot, or is it just kind of like whatever goes off the top of your head?
I mean, I would say most of my ideas are just off the top of my head. I wouldn't say I go into making videos thinking like I want to grow the game. I think I do a lot of that for the national team. I love to expose the guys on the national team and have people get to know them and see what we do and how we travel and all of that. So that part of it, I would say, is more about growing the game, especially in the States, because most of my following is in the States, and just allowing people to see who we are and what we do. And over here, I would say it's not so much of that, but I think in the States, especially before the Olympics, it was a lot about like showing people who we are and trying to get a bigger following.
Right, absolutely.
And sorry, I said one more question. Wait.
No, you go, Joe. Sorry.
I was just gonna ask because you spoke about your teammates. In Poland, what is the reception like for social media and like building a following and creating content versus what you see in the U.S.? Because we see a difference for sure in Germany.
Oh, it's like not a thing, really. It's like
So
Erik pulls his
crazy.
phone out and everyone sprints the other direction. So it's like, but the thing here is that the volleyball players are borderline stars and like celebrities. You know, these players can't go anywhere without pictures and autographs and people staring, and our cameras are out. You know, it's like what we kind of see with celebrities at home. It's to a certain degree, it's what these guys face day in and day out. Maybe not in my town, which is very small, but they're all on social media. They just don't effort out. They're not creating content like a lot of Americans are. You know, I pull a camera out in the gym at home and people are like, all right, what are we doing? Here it's like, oh,
Right.
Erik's phone is out, like let's pass more balls or something. You know, it's just not quite the same, but it is a different lifestyle. Like we're pretty anonymous at home. They're not anonymous here. So it's a different thing.
Do you think if you were to like go through like a rough patch of playing and then you pulled your phone out, and would you get a lot more? Would the judgments come a lot faster than in the U.S.? You think?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I pull out my phone almost every day. I bring my phone to practice. I hide it. It's kind of like an agreement between my coach and I. I hide my phone. Stretching, cheer is done, phone out. People are doing extra reps. That's kind of when I do my thing. So for me, it's about keeping it professional. You know, people allowing me. I usually ask guys, can I film you today? Can I post like the good reps that we take? Obviously, a lot of the time it's just the good reps. So it's just figuring out, it's a time and a place, right? It's like,
Right.
if we have something on the line and it's like Trento the next day, I am not pulling my phone out, or serve and pass. I'm not really, pulling my phone out. So it's time and a place, a lot of like consent forms being out there.
No, I get that. So what I've one or two more questions about what you just said. First one, you said like when you guys go out, like you realize you're a celebrity. Is that like how it is there? Like is like your day-to-day life? Is it kind of like a lot of stares? Because we have a little known just from Hawaii. I mean, but other than that, I'm sure like an entire country is a whole nother animal. I'm sure. But is it like that with you?
Yeah. I mean, here in my city, I mean, Micah's been here. It's small. So people, and Zoxa is the team of the city. It's our team picture is on like the welcome to Kajejan Kozle sign of the city. So we are, the brand of what this city kind of has to offer. And then our cars have our stickers and names and all of this on the cars. So people stare at the cars. And then, we have our jackets on and we're taller guys. I'm like the only Asian in the city, so you do get recognized more often. But I would say as far as going out, we had a team outing, I'll say that, the other night. And it got weird at the end of the night because people were drinking, other people, and they started like talking to the Polish guys like, oh, what about Zoxa? How was that game last night? Or how was World Champs? I had just a random person come up to me and show me a photo they took of me and him from World Champs, and I was like on the dance floor. So it is a little bit strange. Like, okay, is it cool? Maybe, kind of. But it's a strange vibe when people are just constantly recognizing the Polish guys and asking them about volleyball. They get pretty uncomfortable.
Micah, what about you at Hallbong? Is that the same way? Because I know you guys have a big following.
No, not at all. Also, our city's like way bigger
Huge.
than Erik's.
Oh,
And I think that it is the case with, from what I've heard, it is the case with the women in Turkey. Like their national team is similar to the men's national team in Poland. Like they're pretty big. They're actually really, really big. And so I know that they have similar situations where they're borderline like B-list celebrity probably in Turkey, which is pretty high.
yeah, it's pretty high.
Like B-list is pretty high. And I would say like their top 2 or 3 players, sorry about my cat, are probably B-list celebrities in Turkey. So they definitely go through it, but not the men's side. I think one of the few places in the world where like the men's side's, the national team is such a big deal in Poland, like bigger
100%.
than their club sports. I think the national team is just like everywhere, even on bus stops and like on the buses. in Katowice, they were there.
Yeah, they have a pretty big following. They do a lot of ads, a lot of, commercials, that kind of thing, which
Yeah.
for me, I'm like, I hope you guys are getting paid for for a lot of this, but I don't know if they are. But yeah, it's a big deal here. I mean, Micah knows that. We all know that from playing matches here and seeing matches, but it's cool. But yeah, Turkey, I mean, I've been to where Micah lives now because my brother played there last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a massive, massive city that just has so much going on, right? So it's not always going to be like the biggest, I don't know, following outside of volleyball. I mean, you guys had a pretty big crowd the other night, but people following it, I don't know if it's the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely. We play in like wait, how many people are in our town, Joe? Like 70,000. We have 70,000, which is like, but it's relatively small. Like the youth community, it's more elderly folks. So we kind of experience that small kind of town vibe. But they're all behind the team, as I'm sure they're all behind Zoxa. But like if we have like a team outing, like you said, we go out. It's just like people are like wearing our like jersey or like a crop top Lunenburg on the dance floor. I'm just like, they're like, look. I'm like, hell yeah, brother. I was like, wait, that was our like that's our photographer from the, or like you run into like all these people, and it's actually really really cool. But what are you saying, Joe?
And let me tell you, that Lunenburg team goes out and they go hard.
Hey. Yeah.
I'm like, are you guys out again?
I will say this: Gage and I aren't.
We are not the big party animals. I don't drink or anything. I'm always the designated driver. I make sure everyone gets home and everything. But when there is a day off after a match, the Lunenburg boys will be tearing up the dance floor. I'll just be saying that. We'll be out there. We'll be out there, and we'll be absolutely lighting it up.
You guys have a reputation to uphold.
Exactly. And like I said, as Erik said, sometimes it gets weird. Sometimes like certain guys on the team have altercations with other people or something like that, or there's other stuff, and then it's just like, oh, this is not like, we need to like leave this town because everyone knows who we are, or it's just like we need to get out of here. But what are you saying, Joey?
No, I was just saying, with that being the culture in Poland, like you were saying with the advertisements and stuff, is it like with marketing and social media and everything, like are these companies actively trying to come after you to do any type of sponsorship deals or brand deals or anything like that, or is that a major thing in Poland's, like, I guess, economy? Because it's interesting to hear that in today's world there's certain places that still are, behind on that, even though obviously there are.
Yeah, I mean, personally, no, I'm not in the Polish market, but the guys do a lot of different posts for companies, but it's never for money, from what I understand. It's a lot of free shoes, free knee sleeves, free arm sleeves, kind of things.
Way more out of that,
Bro.
For sure. And I try to tell them, guys will. There's certain guys on the national team that do things, whether it's a bet or a razor or something like that. But the guys on my team, I don't think they do a lot of things for money. It's a lot of just, I want shoes and I will post for you.
Super like crazy in a country like that. Like I remember the other day I was on the call with my friend and I was like eating, and he's like, you know what, like, because like, as you said, Europe, and especially professional teams in Europe, volleyball wise, they they don't really understand like the power of social media. Like you said, they do a lot of billboards and whatnot, and like it's way cheaper and way better to do it through TikTok, right? And when he's like, you know what, through all the views you guys are bringing to Lunenburg through like out of systemize and everything like that, you should put that in your contract. You should get a raise. And I almost spat my food out. I was like, I wish it would. If I even try to bring that up, have you seen the views lately of the Gwiddy videos? Directly translates to our Twitch stream numbers. All right, it could,
honestly,
but like.
I kind of make these jokes as well to my team, or people will make it about me, because our social media team is not the greatest. They're actually not allowed at practice, which is just another thing that I'm upset with my team. So it's like anytime that I post a video of, one video I just posted has almost 8 million views of me and my coach just bumping it trying to get into the hoop. But there's Zoxa everywhere. There's Zoxa everywhere in our gym. So whether or not you're promoting or not, people are seeing it and people are Googling it or searching for the team kind of thing. So yeah, it's a joke, obviously, but it's like,
It's
Like
not.
I'm
though.
doing more work for you than you might think. Like
You are. You are. Just by, I mean, obviously as a player, you're going to bring out a lot of fans, but just through your social media presence, they just don't get it. Like Joe was telling me, it's like, they're like, yep, all right, time to go hang out the Lunenburg poster outside the elementary school. Like, what is that doing? Like, what are we doing here? What are we, like, it doesn't even have a time or a
Companies
date.
will invest like $10,000 to get a little sign on the floor. I'm like, okay, you get X amount of people in the match per day, and then you get X amount of Twitch streamers. I'm like, why don't you go and build your social media following, and you can charge way more than what you're getting for a little like banner on the floor. But they don't. Yeah, like you said, they just don't have that understanding. The U.S. is always, a step ahead on that stuff, and that'll come over to Europe eventually. I think you see it obviously with soccer, but yeah, it's crazy.
I have 2 more questions about the social media with you, Eric. First question. How do you work with, do partners reach out? Obviously, huge presence. So, like, sponsorships and partnerships, do they reach out to you?
I actually haven't done a deal in a while, but I have a manager. So I work with a
Gotcha.
sports agency that I post, like they'll make stories for me on game days and I'll repost those. Those are like the random SVG sports is what I post, and that's my sports agency. I have a manager that goes out and seeks these things, and it's not necessarily these kind of like short-term deals that I'm searching for, like post a photo and get paid for it. It's a lot of like brand building, business building, future sort of things, but I haven't done a deal in a while, and I'm actually not that active about doing that.
Got you. That's awesome. Because then you have, like I said, you have free will of whatever you want. I totally
Yeah.
understand. And then you also got to find like a brand that fits what you guys are going for. I totally get it.
Exactly.
Second question. When you're doing the YouTube videos,
Yeah.
First of all, extremely instructive, great breakdowns. For those of you who don't know, Erik Shoji, we'll drop the link in the bio to all his social medias below. But his reaction videos are top tier. I have a question. You are very educational in your videos. Is there ever
Thank
a
you.
point where you have to like hold back from just being like, what the I'm gonna swear. I'm sorry. What the fuck was that? Yeah. I haven't sworn in a long time. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
I had to say that.
No.
To bleep that
You're
out,
fine.
Harry the editor.
To be honest, no, because I rarely think that you're playing or watching the game these days. I think because I've gone through it all and I've beaten myself up about like so many different things, and that's what I say to myself most of the time, that I wouldn't say it to others. And I also know that there's like a reason for most plays. So I don't know. Personally, I don't think that. I would love to like just find more of an explanation of what happened, or say that random things happen. But personally, like my personal brand is just a little bit more positive and trying to keep things light. And yeah, I don't know. I don't really go down that path very often.
Eric, you are a better man than I am, and I'll never be. I gotta say that for you, because like I said, like I'll see a play for myself, and I'll just want to like slam my head through the. I lost a game the other day. I don't use my cool a lot. I lost a game of 2-on-2 the other day. Anyways, I got gypped. Whatever. I don't want to talk about it. I've never done this in my life. I punched it had small padding, small Euro padding. I punched the ref pole 3 times, and then I headbutted it 3 times. My head's still ringing from it. I usually am not a hothead or do anything like that in my life, but I was so mad. Like I couldn't talk to anyone. I had to go in the corner. I haven't got like that mad like that in years. Ever since I was 13, and I turned to my libero, asked him, "Do you want to lose right now?" I would lose it back in the day. But all right. We talked about social media here.
Well, I
Oh,
think,
sorry, you go.
I mean, there are times where I'm like, okay, what was that? But I think I'll phrase it differently in the video. Like, wow, that was crazy, or oh, what happened? It's just for me. I'm not the bashing, I guess, type.
Yeah.
I feel like if I want to be kinder to myself, I have to be kinder to others. So
True.
that's kind of where I'm coming from. I just try to keep it about like I'll talk.
Promote
I'll
positivity.
Talk. Like I can talk. Like let's be honest here, but I'm not gonna put that online.
No, I get it. Promote positivity. Yeah. Like I said, for you and the brand, it is so educational, and so many like young players watch for educational purposes. I totally and I, like you said, I firmly believe this, and I mean this. You're a better person than I am for sure. Because when I go, I don't bash anyone, but I'll bash myself real bad or just something like that.
Yeah.
I'll just
So
tease
will
or
I.
something like that. So yeah.
Well, I think like I mean, if there's I don't know, for example, a tip falls and you're like you were right there, you could have gotten it. You know, instead of being like, what was that? Well, I can maybe explain like why didn't I go for that tip, or why did I think that that person was going for the tip. So for me, there's usually an educational way to kind of explain a play,
Right.
and I'll do my best to explain that, to try to.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to kind of change the subject really quick right here. It's not every day that you get the 2 Champions League winners of quarterfinals. Not just through yet, but they will be soon enough. Micah and Eric, congratulations on the big dub yesterday. Zoxa defeated. Oh my God, I'm blanking right now. Don't.
Trento.
Zoxa defeated Trentino. Oh my God. Habonk obviously defeated Lube. 2 Italian teams going at it. Way to represent, guys. Congratulations. Before we kind of dive more into this, I'm gonna ask Eric, since you are our lovely guest. Also, Micah's cat is our 5th host or 4th host on this
Yeah,
show.
I'm like, what's
Is he
that?
the Creating Havoc? Micah, what's your cat's name again?
Bear. Sorry, that's why I disappeared. She got it.
No. Keep Bear on screen. But all right. So, and I'm sure you have to explain this a lot, and people are confused, or maybe they don't even care enough to ask. But can you explain the season of professional athlete, like top tier? Let's say you're in Champions League. Let's say,
Okay.
Can you explain the cup? Can you explain the Super
Yes.
Cup at the beginning as well, and the regular season on top of that?
Okay, so we're in Poland, I guess. Currently, we were and are in, we'll say, 4 competitions. The first is the Polish Plus Liga, which is the main season that runs from October through May. This is 16 teams. 16 teams. Round robin, play everyone twice, and then playoffs. So that's like the normal Polish season that I guess normally we'll talk about Turkish, German season. There is also the Polish Super Cup, which a lot of countries will have, which is just a rematch of the finals from last season. 1 game, Super Cup, they like to make it a big deal. We lost that match 3-2 earlier in the season. There is also the Polish Cup, which is different than the Polish Plus Liga, which is a tournament that involves the first division and the second division here in Poland. This year, it was the top 6 from the first division after the first round and the 2 best teams from the second division that made it into the quarterfinals. From there, it was a single elimination tournament to determine the Polish Cup winner, which we won about 2 weeks ago. And then the 4th thing is the CEV Champions League, which is a European competition that involves usually the top teams from countries around Europe. I believe there's something like 32 teams that start. Now we're down to 8, which Micah and I are in. And then under the Champions League, there is the CEV Cup, which is what Lüneburg was in, which you guys were in, which I guess technically is like the 3rd and 4th place teams from these leagues. And then there's also the CEV Challenge Cup, which is under that. So most countries will have 4 competitions. Well, whether you're in them or not just is determined from last year's finish. And yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Micah, any differences? Any differences in the Turkish league?
No, I don't think so. I think we had the Super Cup, but our Super Cup is between the champion of the cup and the champion of the season. So that was different because we technically were, or our team was technically in the championship of last year, but the Super Cup was between the champion of the cup and the champion of the league, which we were neither. So that's the only difference.
Eric, thank you so much for explaining all that, as well as clarifying, Micah, for your league. German league's pretty similar to that. I mean, it's pretty similar, just has fewer teams. So in like the later half, the top 4 teams play twice again. The bottom 5 teams play twice again as well. But yeah, so for our listeners out there, like I said, there's like so many like big tournaments. Like I try to explain, there's, and I'm sure you've had to do the same, tournaments within tournaments and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like they're like, you won the league. I was like, no, we won the cup. And then I was like, wait, I thought you lost. No, we lost the Super Cup. And then you got to start putting it in like, and then you got to start putting it in like American terms or like, all right, so we won the Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl, but then we lost. Like you gotta find like these avenues, and then we won the Super Bowl though, and like it's just stuff like that where it's just very very interesting. So for you guys, and then Micah, you can touch upon this too. In a week, like you guys are playing the games on Tuesday or Wednesday, so like what's your like weekly like routine and schedule when it's go time, Champions League, as well as playoffs are coming around the corner, end of season?
Yeah, so I mean, throughout this entire season, we've basically played Wednesday weekend for the whole season. I mean, Poland's a little bit crazy this year. We have 16 teams, so it's a lot of matches. But I guess it's slowing down a little bit now. But in general, it'll be matches Wednesday weekend. We'll just say Wednesday weekend. In Poland, they'll move a lot of games around because of TV. But if you're playing that kind of schedule, for us, it's a practice on Monday, it's a practice on Tuesday, play Wednesday, off Thursday, lift practice Friday, practice Saturday, play Sunday, Monday off kind of thing. So it just depends on the timing of everything. We try to get a lift or two in every week, whether it's heavy or not, just depends on the schedule. But yeah, I mean, depending on the matches, you're not practicing that much. And you're resting and you're building up for the matches. So it can be pretty tough.
It's true. Micah, what about you, man?
No, the Polish league's been playing more than us for sure. But there was a certain, like, I would say 2 months or a month and a half that, yeah, we were playing twice a week. And then with travel, it just becomes really difficult and you're trying to fit in the lifts, like you said. So, for example, we played at home last night. And we lifted today because we will go to an away game tomorrow. And then we'll play the next day. And then we'll have the next day off coming home. And then the next day we'll leave to Italy. And so you're just trying to fit a lot of stuff in when you're in Champions League as well, which this is my first year. And I didn't realize, because last year, like, we're playing Erik. And the whole week you're just waiting to play Zaksa. And Zaksa's like, probably coming to our match like, oh, we're just like trying to get through this because next week we have this and next, or like we just came from that. And you have no idea because you're like, the whole week we're training, focused on them. Like, this is our everything on Saturday. And now that I'm in the position that I'm in, it's just kind of like seeing the other side of the curtain. You're like, wow, there's a lot more going on in these people's lives. A lot more, like, just a lot more going on that I didn't realize. And like, you can show up to a game and the whole Turkish league is like, hasn't really played a game since the last one. And you were like, you went through this crazy battle and you're like let down or you're super stoked and like coming into this game in like a really different place than a team that like just spent all week, like lift Monday, practice, lift Wednesday, like that kind of a little bit more routine schedule.
So
yeah, I mean the weeks can just vary a lot and it just depends on what team you're on. I mean, this last week, we played Trento yesterday, Tuesday, but then we also played Lubin on Saturday, the 3 days before that. But the way we structured our week was for the Trento game. Like, we didn't throw away the Lubin game. Like, we won 3-1. But all the focus was on Trento, the way we lifted, the way we scouted, the way we trained. So it was just a really interesting dynamic and kind of a mental battle to even get ready for that Saturday game. Because we knew that Trento was, in general, just a bigger match. So it is interesting to navigate this kind of season. But I guess you're supposed to be happy when you're in Champions League and stoked and appreciative, which I think we are. It just can be a lot sometimes.
Are you?
Especially when you win it. Like,
yeah,
sucks
winning
in
is
the past
good.
2 years.
Are you guys happy and stoked and appreciative?
In general, yes.
Good. Micah?
Oh, yeah. Well, we're in a different spot than them. I'm stoked.
I'm just happy to be here, man. I'm just happy to be here.
Exactly.
Well, no, I really don't want to sound ungrateful, of course. Like, I'm so grateful to be in highest level of volleyball, right? But I've played Champions League. Like, I don't know. You keep, like, we're in a position to win. I have been in the position where you're not going to win, like where you're going to lose every game, or you're for sure going to lose in the quarterfinals. So it's just it just depends on the team you're on. And I'm all in. I'm all in right now and happy to be here. So just depends. I don't know. Now I sound like
Y-
a brat, but
no.
You are
Eric,
bad, Eric.
yeah, Eric. There's a common phrase we use on this show. It's there's levels to this. There's levels to this, and the more guests we've had on from all around the country and different backgrounds, it becomes quite obvious. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you're at the top level. You don't
well,
you don't look
I've literally been on that like last place team in Champions
right.
League, the team that goes 0-6 and barely wins a set. So I've been on all sides of this spectrum, and it's great to be in Champions League. You always want to be in Champions League.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So you guys, as Eric and Mike has stated, you're playing teams from all over the world. Same thing for CEV when we were alive before we got eliminated by Modena. R.I.P.
Who's playing right now?
Yeah, who's playing as we speak right now? They're playing a Scraw. But actually, Joe, you went to like Can we tell that or no? The Scraw story or no? Think so or no? About their players and everything like that.
I don't know what story you're referring to.
You know what story I'm referring to.
Oh, it was released like that they weren't paying their players for a while. Everybody was talking about it. They hadn't paid their players, and they threatened like if they didn't get a paycheck that they just weren't going to get on the plane to go to Modena. I'm sure you guys heard about it, Eric. I saw it like all over Twitter.
I mean, I think it's pretty common knowledge that they weren't being paid. I don't know the full details of the situation, something with the sponsor. If they want to boycott Sunday, I'm totally fine with that. On Sunday.
Off day.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a crazy subject overseas about paying and stuff, and obviously as you get higher in the ranks, it becomes more professional. So it's surprising that Scraw, a higher team, is not paying their players at times. But anyways, so when you're playing international play, when you're playing in anything CEV or anything like that or Champions League, you're on the plane, you're traveling. But when you're playing within your own country, usually, and I'm sure Zox has a big budget. I'm sure Hubunk has a big budget. Maybe they fly you somewhere. But what is do you guys bus to all your games?
We are 100% buses within the Polish league.
What's the longest bus ride everyone has here?
Here to Suwałki, which is where Josh Tuanigo played a couple years ago. I think it's Micah. We're pretty much the same. What was it, like same. 9?
Yeah, 8.5 or 9.
8.5 or 9.
Something like that.
What about you, Micah?
And they're like that distance from everyone, so that team has it tough.
That team has.
And we have it. We had it really good. Like, there's like 5 teams within 2 hours, I would say.
Oh,
us, Katowice, Zaksa, Jastrzębia, Zawiercie. Nisa's not that far. It's like 2 hours.
And this year, Bielsko-Biała, where Jake
Bielsko-Biała
is really close.
And then
so those are all within
not
like
that far.
Yeah, those are all within like an hour or two. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a really nice central location.
Yeah, man. And then Micah,
we fly to some of them and bus to some of them. Yeah.
So what's the farthest bus you got?
4.5.
What? So what's like the line like after 4 hours? Like, all right, hop on the plane.
I think so.
Private?
No. Just normal plane. Okay. But you want to know what's nuts? Actually, the first time that I arrived, we caught a plane, and I get off the plane and we get out of the airport, and I'm getting onto the Halkbank bus, which is like, it's wrapped, so it's like you can tell which bus is ours. And I was like, wait a second, what? How? Wait, what? Dude, the driver drives the night before us and meets us there and picks us up.
Oh.
And I didn't realize, but also it's so nice because no one said this, but you can put all your baggage and everything there. Mm. So we just fly with a backpack, and then when we get there, we get picked up with the bus. Our suitcases are on the bus.
That man needs a raise.
That guy's a beast, man.
That's awesome.
I didn't catch on. Like the first time I was like, this is so strange. Am I tripping out?
Nobody has anything.
And then I figured it out. It's so nice. This club is very nice.
I think one of the very unique, interesting things here in Poland is that we'll have a game, Zaksa Katowice. It's like 45 minutes, an hour, but we'll stay in Katowice the night before. You know, we also had a Champions League game in Gliwice last year, which is max 45 minutes, and we stayed in Gliwice the night before. So I guess it's their whole being professional thing, getting us out of our own house. But even on these like close matches, we're staying in hotels. When I played in Berlin, we were driving to, I don't know, Coburg or Netzhoppers or these different teams the day of the game. Not Lüneburg, actually. We would stay in a hotel. But that part, I'm like, do we have to stay in a hotel like 30 minutes away? We can't just
So you
be in our
prefer it
beds?
home?
No?
You prefer it home?
I think so.
I definitely do.
Especially if it's like an 8:30 game and you have time to rest and you can drive and it's like fine. Why not?
I feel that. I'm kind of a nomad. I'm a guy. I love the road. I'm a road warrior, as they say. Get me out of my comfort zone. Get me out of
Do you
here.
guys room together?
No, but we still sleep in the same bed though. We just leave the bed for. We just don't fill it up. We just sleep together.
He's talking about on the road.
Oh,
on the road.
On the road trips,
Yeah,
our
same,
coach,
same. I mean, no, we don't do that.
last year, our coach was big this year. Like last year, we just had roommates that we chose, and this year he's like, he wanted everybody. It's like every trip's a new roommate, which is fine because our team's like really really close. So there's nobody that you're like, oh man, it's crazy.
Oh,
like,
really?
How close
That's
this team is.
crazy.
Our team's really really close.
Doing slumber parties in the hallway.
Exactly.
Yeah, just pillow fights.
Quickly, speaking of Lüneburg, did you play in Gellerson Hall? The
I
Gellerson
played
Hall?
in the small one every time.
Yeah. Ooh.
Lost
tough.
every time.
Really?
No way.
Yeah, I think
It's
3
it's so
times.
hard to play
I mean,
there.
two regular season matches and 1 playoff, I believe. I think we lost. I don't think I won in there. That is horrible.
easy.
I
No.
cannot.
Horrendous.
Right down the street from our house right now, actually.
That
Right
is
down
Yeah,
the
the
street.
worst
we live right in the
place
corner from it.
to play professional volleyball. It's just like a nightmare.
Oh, it's terrible. The ceiling is so low, and
I've
really
always
don't know
suggested that not top teams should be having arenas
worst
like that.
gyms.
I've always
Passing the mirror, Gellers.
Well, it's a
like
huge
if
home-
you're
it
not
was a huge home
Berlin,
court.
let's have Berlin come in with some terrible lights that we're really used to playing in, a low ceiling, and let's see if we can like train our game around our home gym and start picking up wins at home. Always
I
thought
mean,
that.
What's the other team in Germany down south? Is it James's team
No,
that has
they
a
play
very
in the
strong
Audi.
Herrsching.
They play in the Audi Dome now, so that's
okay.
FC
Herrsching?
Bayern's arena, basketball arena.
Okay. So Herrsching used to play in a pretty similar one to Lüneburg. That was just, I mean, come on. Passing is stressful enough, but
Yeah.
so with a ceiling like this, come on.
I think
No.
Herrsching was worse. My first 2 years in the league, we played in that down on the Ammersee, and that was horrendous. I think it's worse down there. But
These lower budget teams do what Micah said. They should be like, all right, guys, try and not turn your lights on the entire time. We're going to install the shittiest lights in this gym. When you're at home, get used to it.
No, really,
Get used to
I think
adapt.
that's like, it's why would people not be wanting to do that? It gives you an advantage.
just gotta
You
have
get
I
one
would hate
advantage.
that, dude.
you gotta
no matter
have
how
like
much I
random
practice.
chains like hanging off the roof, so it's out, like just in strategic places. Random stuff hanging down.
Only on the like the
Yeah,
side
changes
that
which
the away.
sides.
But that's the thing. Some gyms when they like the away side has something a little bit wrong
Yeah.
with it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Xavierce, I know that we switched, but that was just to make them upset. But a few gyms that like the scoreboard's right behind the reception and
Yeah.
you can't see when they're serving. Right in the serve and pass, people are talking about it. We're like, okay, if we win, we tell the captain, if we win, we need we need to be on that side.
Like the colorful advertisement just happens to be in the
Yeah.
perfect spot. You're like, why is the blue and yellow advertisement right behind the server?
Or the ones
Or the
that
Polish-
switch. The ones that switch advertisements too, and like one of the 4 is like super bright and the other 3 are dark, and you're like, if that thing pops
shame.
up when someone's serving. Anyways,
I remember-
Crazy.
that's why like an asymmetrical gym I wouldn't suggest because it can go against you. But a just symmetrically bad gym that you can train in and understand, I would suggest for sure.
Dude, for
Well, the
yourself
Polish Cup was interesting. One side was this giant pink stage, LED stage, which is cool. I'm not like, it's amazing presentation by the Polish league, but it's just this giant pink screen, which ended up being okay. And then the other side, you're looking at 4 giant banners of the stars of the teams. So the pink, I was like, why is there a huge pink background in the back of this? Like, this is impossible to play with. And then you go to the other side, and Alexander Slivka is staring at me when I'm trying to pass balls. So I'm just like, what is this setup? Like, it ended up being fine. But you know when you initially walk in and you're like, oh, that sucks. That's going to be tough. I was like, this is going to be brutal. It worked out, but I was like, we don't need giant pink presentation stages directly behind the court. But anyway.
Dude, I feel that 2 stories go off that. One really quick. The worst lighting gym I ever played with was King University. I think it's in like Kentucky. We were there. I swear to God, it was lit up by like Thomas Edison's first light bulb ever. I don't know. It was straight up yellow in there. I was like, what is going on? I was like trying to see stuff. I was like, no way we're playing in this gym right now. This is incredible. I was like squinting. I was like, where's the ball? It was so bad. And then we were figure top at this new gym, and they had these like strobe lights. But I swear to God, they only had it pointing at me or
They were following
the away side. But the thing was, it'd be like the ref was blowing the whistle, and like, and it'd just be like strobe light flashing at my eyes. I'm like, I was like, oh my God, I can't see anything. It was so bad. I was like, can someone turn that off? I was so mad. I was like, whatever. Didn't even matter.
Well, if we're on this topic, I mean, of distracting things, actually our home match against Trento in Champions League pool play, we had a very exaggerative linesman that loved to move during the play
Gwiddy.
and like swing his flag around and then swing it back during the play. And we literally we had to tell him, like, you gotta relax, bro. Like, calm.
Doing the splits.
I mean, he was like, you know when they move because someone's serving from area 5, so they move out of the way. Like, the way he would come back, he would like whip his flag back here and then just make this huge movement, which really shouldn't distract us, but it was so big the way he was doing it. I told my opposite, who did not deliver the message very kindly. I will say that. He told him, like, bro, settle down. Just keep your flag where it's supposed to be and stop moving. Because it was so distracting. It was crazy. I'm easily distracted, but
he's probably crushing it.
He was
looking forward to this all week.
Lines in the story, but if you want to change topics, we can.
No, we want to hear the story. Oh, we want to hear the story.
I feel like I just prefaced, like, we have to go there. So last night we win the first set. We're up pretty big in the second. We ended up losing it. Between sets, most of our team goes to pee, just like I think our thing now. I'm not sure. But Slivka is passing the linesman, and what this linesman was thinking, I have no idea. First of all, linesmen, never talk to the players, ever. Like, just don't talk to the players. This linesman, according to the translation, says to Slivka, how could you guys lose that set in such a shitty way?
Mm-hmm.
The linesman
says
this.
You guys had it coming.
To Alex,
I'm just kidding.
Did we? He, like, screamed at him, and then Dave Smith screamed. Dave Smith doesn't scream at people. Dave Smith yelled at the guy, and the guy, like, went off into his corner. I was like, linesman, no. Don't talk to the players, and then don't ask why we lost the set in a shitty way. You're so dumb. I was so mad after that. I was like, linesman, don't make big moves on the line and don't talk to players. It's not that hard.
Quit doing backflips on the touch call. Chill out a little.
You can only Gwiddy.
If you Gwiddy, okay, then you can.
You're fine if you Gwiddy.
There you go. Hey, you nailed. You just said you didn't know. You said you didn't know how to say it. That was good. That was best. That was the best Gwiddy I've heard of in my life. You heard it first. Erik Shoji, Lord of Gwiddies.
I can't even. My nephew tried to teach me, and I was like, I just can't get it.
I practice at home now because I know when we go back to the States, all the campers that ask, or kids or anybody, be like, it's the Gwiddy guys. You guys got a Gwiddy.
Well, you guys aren't the ones doing it.
That's true, but I guarantee people will ask me. Like, I go on live, like, do the Gwiddy thing. Do the Gwiddy thing.
I haven't
so
seen
to get up
Joe
every
in
time
a
and
single
Gwiddy.
video. I haven't seen Joe in any of the videos.
Yeah, that is.
Joe's
true.
a videographer.
Joe's known for that.
Joe, yeah, well, that's Joe McVlog for you right there. You'll see that in most of our videos. But Joe is actually if not, I put him second for the most important job because he
is the videographer behind the whole thing.
Mm.
And if you look at the camera work, it is stellar. I gotta give Joe your flowers, and you're doing great with the camera work, man. Usually he doesn't touch the camera or even get in front of it. He's in the corner. I don't know what he's doing. Joe McVlog.
I will say your opposite is amazing because it's so funny when you play against. I will say it's funny when you play against someone and you know that he has a hybrid serve or whatever because he does. We all know that. And then now he's like acting out these scenes on TikTok. It's like hilarious. But he's funny. He's awesome.
my favorite. He's my favorite
great.
part of every single one of them.
He's great.
He's so
man.
German.
His
too.
small
So German.
accent is just.
Yeah.
I love.
Guys, what's we doing? Guys, what the fuck?
It's true. It's true.
No, he's great. He's great. The commitment is unbelievable. Like for example, go back to the Gwiddy. We pulled out crutches today, and the coach said, "No, we can't do crutches. You can't do it's bad luck." I was like, "What about a wheelchair?" He's like, "Absolutely not. It's bad luck." And then we were crushed. We're like, "We don't have a Gwiddy video today." And we're like, "No, let's really think. Let's really think." And we brainstormed it, and we came on the new one. It was great. The Gwiddy was great. But also a little change of topics here. Eric, I don't know. Do you as a libero, do you stretch very much?
No.
180 right there. Yeah, me neither. Everyone's like for me, like, do you always feel like fresh? Like for example, when you walk in, do you do
No.
squats or no?
No. But that's an age thing. I think it's an
That's
age
right.
thing. Like, I mean, I used to be able to walk in and spike a ball. Spike and
Fair enough.
do whatever. Now it's like, gotta warm up for sure.
Okay.
But I mean, stretching, it's like if I feel something, I'll stretch. But if I don't feel anything, it's not on top of my priority list.
Got you. Gotta
I
go
think
shoot
you
the TikTok.
I think you. I can only shoot if I stretch. If I stretch for a minute, then I'm allowed to get my phone out.
Quick stretch.
Boop. Dude, I do in there. Do some dips. I'm like, all right,
But I
let's
don't
do
know.
it.
Like, I feel like there's so many conflicting theories about stretching. Like, I've had strength coaches that are like, no stretching, and then the next one's like, yes, you should stretch after every practice and weight session. So it's like, who am I supposed to listen to? And I'm just not going to do it then.
Yourself.
Yeah, listen to your
Bingo.
body.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But that's
So-
also like as an age thing. Like if I feel something, I'm going to stretch it, right?
Got you.
I got to be able to perform. So
Got
I'm
you.
not a stretcher, but if it's necessary, I'm a stretcher.
Got you. And then 2 more personal questions. First, no, not that type of personal. Volleyball personal. When you work out, do you ever work out for quickness or whatnot? Remember last year they would do a lot of med ball stuff with me. And this year it's more, I would say more, I definitely can lift a lot more this year. I'll just say that. But I think I was quicker last year. Do you do any explosive training or anything?
We do a couple of things. I mean, we'll do the standard power cleans and squats and Bulgarian squats, but then our weight coach here will throw in a quick movement in between the sets, sort of supersetting it. So it's jump off a box and do 2 broad jumps, or it's taking a medicine ball and doing a squat and throwing it as fast as you can. So I think strength is probably the number 1 factor, and then throwing in these kind of accessory exercises to build off of the strength and to feel quick within that strength. For me, it's almost like a mental thing. Okay, I'm doing the strength part, but myself that I'm quick and working on quickness. So it's fast, simple things. I don't know. People ask me all the time, and I'm like, I don't know, just get stronger. And then that usually translates to quickness.
As Micah says and Joe says, if you want to jump higher, just jump more. Boom. Words of advice. Words to live by, ladies and gentlemen. Last question.
I literally go in every summer with this plan to talk to our strength coach Tim and get these cool exercises to increase my speed and agility and quickness. He's like, it's just strength, and then we'll throw in a couple of side steps in there, or jumps or broad jumps, and maybe you'll get faster, but mostly it's just strength. So I trust our strength coach there. I mean, he's one of the top ones in the Olympic committee. So I guess my advice is to just get stronger and to work hard. And if you want to do an exercise, do it, and do it with good technique and something that's applicable to our sport.
Higher, faster, stronger. Charlie Wade.
I'm not a fitness guru. Let's see.
Eric, you trying to get yoked this summer, bro? You trying to get yoked this summer? Yoke Libero?
Can you imagine?
Rich
Eric
Lamborn.
just somehow.
Eric's like, gotta bench like 450 today.
Instead of my like 20
Absolutely
kilos.
jacked.
Who is
Yeah,
that?
time to go there.
No, I'm not
This
trying to.
is
I'm
my
not trying to get.
sanctuary. Squat rack.
No, I mean the excuse, right, is always like, oh, I can't lift because my arms were passing, but not really true.
Honestly, flexibility is more important than strength. Unlike Joe over here. Joe will tell you about his second year of Eriks, and this guy was just absolutely arm farming all day. You would
Too
wanna
much.
explain your schedule? Your arm farm schedule? This
I
guy's
don't need to
wild.
explain it right now. But yeah, we lifted a lot.
Dude. All right, well, he would just go and just 3 days.
All the
3
young
times-
guys, yeah.
It
3
was a
times
ridiculous
day,
amount
just
because
go
I
arm
was
farm.
FaceTiming Joe during COVID, and we were doing these like ridiculous, what was it, yoga hit
was like-
workouts?
Yeah. No, it was hit
Ooh.
workouts.
Oh,
like
hit
hot
workouts.
yoga, like
Hit,
But it wasn't
hit,
hot
yeah.
yoga. But
It was
yeah,
like 40 minutes. My legs were shot. I'm like, I gotta shower and like lay down for like 2 hours before practice. And Joe would just go straight to the gym. And I was like, we just worked out. What are you doing? You must, yeah, you're probably an animal. At that
Hit
time.
workouts are
lifted a lot.
different. Those are just not. I don't think those are for volleyball players.
Well, it's because
Yeah.
both of us were in quarantine
Mm.
because of COVID. And our coaches were like, you need to stay in shape because in a week and a half, we're going to have a game. And so
2
we were,
months
like,
later,
calling each
you have a
other.
game.
Yeah, that's true too. But we were like calling each other, trying to stay in shape. And so we were doing these YouTube videos that are way too hard.
Out of our ballpark. Yeah, Joe was like, if it ends in iceps, I'm doing them. Absolutely. Last question here. Arm sleeves. Talk to me about arm sleeves. Well, first of all, when's the last time? How did you get into passing with arm sleeves? Do they make a difference? And when's the last time you used them in a crucial moment? Didn't use them in a crucial moment?
So I started arm sleeves in probably the spring of 2016. I was in Germany. And I had always enjoyed playing in long sleeves for whatever reason in Hawaii. Like, we didn't wear long sleeves, but I had always enjoyed using long sleeves, just the feel of it. And then also, I'm like a weird sweater. So I sweat knees down, elbows down. That's pretty much it on my body. So I would get sweaty, and the arm sleeves help with sweat. They help with sliding. I just like the feel of them. And that was the last time I haven't worn arm sleeves like in a real setting, like in a real game. Probably January of 2016.
But it creates like a noticeable padding on the ball because Jordan, our outside, started doing it.
I don't know. I think there are like thicker and thinner sleeves out there. Some of the ones that the Brazilian wear are very, very padded. And I almost thought those were too padded because I had worn those a little bit. The ones I wear now are Bauerfein, which is a German company. And I don't know, I personally love them. They do like knee sleeves, I believe, a lot of different sleeves. I don't know. I just like the feel. Now it's just part of my volleyball life. It's like for me wearing knee pads and socks almost. I had a practice
Gotcha.
last year where I didn't wear them, and the guys were like, "You need to wear these.
Gotcha.
Don't ever forget these again."
Oh,
So
God.
for me, it's just a personal thing. You know, it's up to you. It shouldn't be like you have to wear these or not. It's just you want to try it, and if you like it, cool. I mean, it's like if you're in Hawaii in a gym, it's gonna be pretty hot. So
True.
you just gotta figure it out for yourself.
Those are some good points.
But
I
a
have
lot of
some-
kids are wearing sleeves now.
Yeah, they are. They are.
of you.
Thanks to
I watched
at the
Eric.
Libero
At the Libero on
on
TikTok.
TikTok. You know, link in the
That
bio.
probably itself is probably worth some money. That handle.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, to
Or
be
is it
honest,
not?
no, I mean, I don't know. No. It hasn't gotten me
Do you know
anything.
people make money off like? I'm pretty sure people make money off that kind of stuff.
Really? I didn't.
Well, like for
didn't
example,
know
if
that.
you're on like to the internet really quickly and you get like the domain name like therock.com and The Rock, some big company or like needs to buy that, you can make a lot of money for that kind of stuff.
That would be interesting. But the
should come
honestly,
to almost-
the concept behind that was I really wish I had like a talent that I could put in the middle of that, like the singing libero or like the dancing libero. Like I wish I had a talent, a good enough talent to put in the middle of that, but I don't.
The Gwiddy
Where'd you
libero.
get that from?
Like the backflip linesman.
The Gwiddy libero.
I've also wanted to change it to the hungry libero, which I think is pretty
Ooh.
funny.
You should do a second. Why don't you do a second channel? Just do like everything you eat.
Just do food ones. I don't know, but
That'd be
I
the
don't know.
best.
Handle is a handle is a handle. It's kind of.
That's true. That's true. And it sticks.
I mean, my
no,
first. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
No. What were you saying? What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say my first Instagram was Doodoo Boy, so I would die to go back to that, but I don't think I could go back to that at this point.
Well, you weren't local Joe 808 to my left here.
No, but I was talking about shit, so sorry for the listeners.
Where can one
out
find
there.
those videos? Just for like research purposes.
I was sitting in our locker room and the Hawaii guys. Somebody bet me that I wouldn't do it. And I did it. I forgot who it was.
Here we
I
is.
was a
Local
sophomore year.
joke.
I always try him to get him back to it. It's so
No.
legendary. No, you
I have
should.
some
All right.
questions for Eric.
Well,
Is that okay?
Go,
Yeah.
go.
Okay, Eric. Can you name to me the top 3 servers that you've had to
Oh.
face, and
Yeah.
why? I'm just curious.
Gosh, I feel like there's so freaking many.
There are a lot
Um,
of good servers.
I'm gonna say Bieniek from Poland, middle blocker. I think he leads the league in aces right now. I'm pretty sure he's number 1. He does a 2-hand kind of hybrid serve. A lot of pace, a lot of range, and a lot of funk on that. He changes the spin a lot, so he'll kind of go righty spin and then he'll go wrist away to a lefty spin. Funky, play him on Sunday, already anxious about it, kind of thing. Let's see. I haven't played against Nimir a whole lot, but there have been times where the aces I've taken from him and the shanks have just been quite unbelievable, that they're just the farthest ricochets you can possibly get, or I just don't react to it kind of thing. I think he's a top server. Who am I going to go for?
Mike Ama'a.
Mike Ma is a very strong server.
Get out of here.
Mostly 5-6 against Zoxa, occasionally 1-6 if I'm in 1.
Bieniek, Nimir, Micah. Solid top.
Wait,
3.
sorry, I really have to go through countries like Poland, so many strong servers, Brazil. I mean, I think Claire is just so consistent and he rarely misses with Mikhailov, and you guys have talked about him. But it's just a nasty 70-mile-an-hour serve, heavy side spin that doesn't miss.
Yeah.
And when you know it's not going to miss, you're kind of like, great.
You're not let off the hook very often.
Yeah, you're not let off the hook. So there's so many great servers
And
out
can
there.
you throw in a float server?
Ooh.
The nastiest float server in the world.
Ooh, gosh. Do you guys have any? Do you have any in mind so I can like?
I know Russia has
Probably
some that were
Micah.
just ridiculous. Because those guys are hitting
Yeah.
that float down and hard.
There was a float server a couple of years ago, 7, 8 years. Mika from Poland. He
Yeah.
played in Gdansk last year.
He's in Turkey.
He's in Turkey. He's like a 6'10" outside, but he used like a full jump and would hit a nasty float. There's a 7'2" guy in Russia, Liko Sherstov, who just has the gnarliest reach and hits his float down, and it's crazy. And that's like probably a 58 to 60 mile an hour float serve. Like
No.
just as hard as
No.
some of the jump serve. Yeah, I would say 55 to 60. It's
Holy
just
cow.
insane.
That's insane.
Gosh, who else? Any more in mind, you guys? Like you've played a lot.
Was
I just-
Kovalev?
Oh
Who did-
God. Yeah. I think I
Yeah.
just blocked that one out of my memory.
Kovalev
That's
is
a
someone that
nasty
came to
floater.
mind.
Yeah, that's like a 5-setter, 40-inch jump on his float.
Yeah, but he is jumping on the floater,
Yeah,
like
just
max
driving it.
jumping.
Oh, I got effed by that guy in Russia a couple of times. So yeah.
Yeah, he brings some pace. Kirkaev sometimes like
He has a nasty jump now though.
it's strange. Yeah, a
I
lot
mean,
of the
there's
Russians
also
I
like,
remember were like hitting the ball
Leon,
pretty well.
obviously Leon.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these Cubans, Simone, any sort of lefty serve is different and hard.
Oof.
Plotinski, I think he just had 5 aces against Berlin in 2 sets. So there's just a lot of good
Lefties are
servers.
tough.
Passing sucks.
So also on the other side of that, who are the best passers that you've been with that are not liberos?
Oh, that I've been with.
Or that you've been with, but also like who stands out to you as a receiver that's not a libero?
The first one that comes to mind is Irvin Ingapet. I think he's probably the best passer passing outside out there. Particularly, I think he's the strongest on his right side, which is weird for passers.
That's what
He's
Namir
just-
said. Namir said that when he like is focused in reception, he's just a
Yeah.
machine.
And people might say like, oh, he looks so loose, like his technique isn't great. It's like, it's pretty good. It's really
Platform
good.
is
So
unreal.
also to I'm not. You can continue your list after, but like the
No.
French have a very like relaxed looking
Laissez-faire.
style of playing in general, but also in reception. But
Yeah.
I know that you talk a lot about technique, and you are probably like the textbook version of reception as from a technical standpoint. Is when you're watching them, it's the same principles though. They just do it differently, or what? How is that happening? How is that going on?
I think when you freeze frame and slow it down, it's gonna look pretty similar. Like all the techniques that, I might talk about on my channel, whether it's, shoulders over, angles, footwork, core strength. When you slow it down, it looks pretty similar. They just have a loose style about it, and I don't know how to describe that.
It's more the in
words,
and the
kinda
out of the action, but like the action itself when it's in the moment of touching their arms is the same.
Yeah, I mean, you freeze frame it on the technique, on the pass, it's unbelievable. So
Yeah.
I guess at the end of the day, it's like, if you get there, you get there.
Yeah.
It's just usually has to be efficient, right? Passers, oof. Taylor Sander, I think, is an unbelievable passer who is now on the beach and
Yeah.
passing balls. I'm like, how did you shank that? You've never shanked that ball before, especially in indoors. But
Shade.
no, it's more like expectations. I'm like, Taylor, come on, you had that. Gosh, I really have to go through the teams. I think the best passer I've ever played with is an Italian player, Gabriele Maruotti, who doesn't play anymore. This was a while ago. He just, for me, that was like lights out technique. It was just insane to play with him.
A bunch of
I
the
think
Polish. I was gonna say,
Semeniuk is a good passer. Schlivka's a solid passer.
a
But
bunch of the Polish guys mentioned that there was an American that came to Poland that like people all like were like, this guy's one of the best passers ever. And it was like 10 years ago. And he wasn't so offensive, and he was a receiver. And I need your help on this because a bunch of the guys were talking about him.
Riley Salmon,
No.
older or younger? Paul Lottman.
Same. No. It was somebody that, because I know those guys. It
feel
was
like we
someone that
should
with a
know.
little bit different name. Oh, I want to find out so bad.
American.
And they said his technique was not good at all, but like every ball was perfect. It was a little bit like of a Polishish or like that type of name. It was
Jeski. No.
no.
I am.
Dang. Okay, I'll find it out.
We'll figure it out.
But they
we'll figure
mentioned
it
that
out.
he was like a bunch of people said he was the best passer they've ever seen. and he was American, and he was a receiver.
I think passing is so interesting, especially these days with the kinds of serves. It's like passing perfect is great, but it's like how consistent can you be just to get it up half of the time?
Mm-hmm.
It's like with these people bombing, it's like how often can you just put it on 3 meters? And I know like Gage and I have had discussions about stats and like, oh, our stats weren't good, but it's like I don't know what balls you were facing. Like,
Yeah.
people on social media, they don't see what the kind of serves that we're facing and that kind of thing. And you get ridiculed for 33% or whatever, but it's like you don't know.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
I don't know. Passing, I could talk about all day. It's just an interesting skill. I think it's really hard. I think
is
it's
really hard.
the hardest skill in volleyball, just personally speaking.
Hell yeah,
Libero
brother.
speaking here. Yes, I got you.
Finally, some backup.
So yeah, I mean, it's a tough skill. You could talk about it a lot.
For me, I learned the hard way about 3 meters, about just like popping up 3 meters. Don't get ace. Obviously, my brother always reminded me. I've been doing a better job at like, I think second half of season, but
I had a talk
first half
with
of
you
season.
this year.
Yeah, Micah had to talk with me.
I had to talk with Joe first,
And
and then Joe said, "Can you please talk to Gage?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll talk to him." So I called you up.
The first time we faced Berlin, I would say I was the biggest reason we lost. I got ace 3 times by shot, one or twice late in the match. Not good. Like it was a close match. Then we went there, and then we played him in cup, fine in cup, and then German, and then the second time we faced there, first time this ever happened to me, I got aced match point versus Carla. It was a good serve, but it wasn't a great serve, and that was a learning curve. But especially my first year in Bulgaria is my first learning curve because like just put it 3 meters, and if you didn't, like my brother's on me all the time, but it was way gnarlier last, like, and just like you gotta learn. You're like, oh wait, and then you also got in the mindset of, oh, on a hard serve 3 meters is a good pass. You know what I'm saying? You don't like, like you kind of change your perspective as you kind of up the levels. So I kind of learned that the hard way as well. But yeah, no, I get you. Mike, do you have any more questions?
No, those are my main ones. What would you say is the most important thing for people trying to learn how to receive? Because I know that you talk about this on your channel, but
Your ability to get the ball to a general place from all parts of your body. So basically angles and how you can create an angle and a platform that's going to get the ball to the target or somewhere near the target. I think getting used to angles. There's so many coaches out there, I've talked about this before, that are like, either you have to pass midline or you have to pass on your left or you have to pass outside of your midline. And I'm like, how is that possible? Like the ball is coming so fast. You have to pass the ball wherever it's coming. Like you have to pass the ball wherever it's coming.
You try and do this.
I'm like, no. I saw a reel the other day where the coach told the girl she had to pass on her left. And I was like, this is not reality.
Yeah.
Like this is a slow gym form of practice. But I think learning your angles and how you can create angles and have a solid platform anywhere on your body to get the ball to target, I think is the biggest thing, which is easier said than done, but
yeah,
just angles, because your angle can make up for a lot of things in passing.
This is true. I've always noticed, this is my last question before our last segment here. I've always noticed the perfect platform, because I really thought about this, is one, flexibility with your arms, that you're I don't know if y'all knew this. I mean, I noticed this. Now, obviously you knew this, but when your like shoulders can touch or your elbows can touch. But have you seen like the arcing shoulder when your elbows can touch, like it's kind of
they go like
arcing as
out.
well. Oh man, that is the golden in my mind. That is the gold. It just like pops off. It's like you don't even have to be good at it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like when I see that, I'm like, wow. Like you can just stick your arms out there and it's probably gonna go to target. I'm like, I actually practiced getting my arms more flexible this year. I'm not kidding. I swear to God, every time before I pass, I adopted this new technique and I do this kind of like sweeping motion. And my platform has gotten way better for sure. Right? A lot like before, I used to be kept decently separated. Now I can decently touch my elbows together almost. You'd never be able to do this. One person, Kayla, she plays in Switzerland this year. She said she played at Pittsburgh. They had the final when she got to the Final Four 2 years back. Their coach made them like go like in a crouching position, put their arms in a platform situation, and then sit down and squeeze their arms together with their legs
for like 10 minutes when they got home. And it worked, she said. So I started doing a little bit of that, and then I started doing my little new intro. So that's what I do.
Wait.
I'm not going to yeah. I've tried witchcraft. I've tried other stuff, but that just seems to work the best, I would say, you know. But no, there's, like I said, that I've noticed that's like, when I see that platform, it's like, wow, must be nice, you know, must be nice.
I know. Mine is not close at all, so.
Yeah, but and it shows you don't need that. And it shows you don't need that.
It would be nice. It looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. It's photogenic. All right, we're gonna go our last segment here before we let Erik go. Here, we just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors of the podcast, allvolleyball.com, and these are our heater questions. Remember, use the code HEAT, all capitals, for 20% off allvolleyball.com. All your volleyball needs. Link in the bio. All right, Erik. These can be rapid fire questions. You can answer these as quickly as you want to. I got 6 questions for you here. A little bit of heater questions. Okay. Also, how long have you been playing pro? 12 or 13 seasons?
Season 11.
Okay. Wow. Missed it by that much. Here we go. All right.
You were so close.
All right, Erik, you've been playing for pro volleyball for 11 years. In the years of playing, do you think in this amount of years of playing, do you think you could serve better than most of the middles that you have gone in for?
No.
How many do you think, percentage-wise?
I would want to serve for maybe 10% of them.
Okay. You've played a considerable...
But I don't like to serve. So
Okay.
for me, I don't like to serve. But I would pin in a pretty weenie float serve, so...
But sometimes that's better than what some of these players can do. Sometimes I'm like,
That's
dude, just
true.
go underhanded back there, man. Like, just get it in the court. Please. He's got like a normal float serve.
Zoc says 0.
That's right. Yeah. You play on with some very, very good middles. All right. You play with your brother a few years, pro and in college. What's the biggest on-court fight you've ever had with your brother?
Me not going for a ball, probably. Nothing serious. Nothing big.
Okay. No yelling or anything like that?
Come on, Kavika. Come on, Erik. Like, no.
Got you. Yeah. Me and my brother were pretty tame on the court.
Are you?
No, not at all. Not at all. What position is the most often overpaid?
Opposite.
Why?
Because they're probably the highest paid, performing the least amount of skills.
That's true. That's a good point. Next one.
In general.
Who do you think should be the most paid? What position? If you were building a team.
Setters.
Do you think liberos are criminally underpaid, or do you understand where they're coming from?
I understand where they're coming from. I do think in general that we should be paid a little bit more.
Got you. Okay.
In general, not necessarily speaking for myself.
Right. But in the general population that you're speaking of, Erik is in that.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to expand, like me, I'm fine, but everyone else, I mean, I think like certain leagues are like showing that liberos are pretty important. Like Poland is hiring a bunch of foreign liberos. France has a bunch of foreign liberos. Germany has a bunch. So I think our stock is rising.
Yeah. You know, that's interesting you say that. Just really quick. Interesting you say that because some people are like, the market's getting crazier. Some people are like, the market's getting better. You know, I mean, for different people, different folks, different strokes. All right. Next question here. Knee pads or no knee pads? And if you say, all right, well, let me hear your answer.
Everyone should start with knee pads. And if you want to take them off in college, you can take them off.
Okay. To protect your knees, is that why?
No, just your simple ability to go and not be in pain and have any sort of hesitation.
Got you.
How do you
feel?
Cornwall made us wear knee pads. I don't know if you had to wear knee pads. Starting
And ankle
in
braces.
Seventh grade, we had to wear knee pads and ankle braces. So, yeah. But I will say, a little anecdote here, like I've asked Garrett Mwagatutia to wear knee pads because he wasn't going for balls. And he put them on, and I said, never wear those again. They literally look horrible because he has tree trunks. So it just didn't work. And he had warned us, but I was like, Garrett, no, you just got to try. Like, you're not getting that ball and sit. he put them on. I was like, you're fine. Like, no, we're not.
Fashion over
ready.
function
So,
in Team USA.
fashion, that one, you'll see it. I'll make him do it soon.
Need the video. Need the TikTok. How do you feel that outside hitters set the second ball overseas instead of liberos?
Don't care at all.
Good man. Good man. Last question. What's harder to pass, a float or a spin serve?
Oh gosh,
Both
this is like
equally as
this
fast
is like
or equally as hard.
this is like the number one question I think I get on social media. Top level jump serve is harder than a top level float serve. Like you would want to face a float. Like I'll take Kovalev over Leon, basically, because your ability to just get it up is normally higher. But so high level jump serve, I would say over a high level float serve.
That makes sense, but medium level float versus medium level jump. Float is harder.
I would rather pass a float. I would rather pass the jump.
Yeah,
Jump,
exactly.
Jump.
Exactly.
I mean,
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that.
A 55-mile-an-hour jump serve with pure spin
Yeah.
is easier than maybe like a college float serve.
Right.
Good point. And that's all the questions we have in this week's Heaters. Erik, we just want to thank you for hopping on, man. It's always a pleasure. It's always fun kicking it with you, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, you as well.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll get a Gwiddy video. Maybe I'll get a Gwiddy video out of Zoxa this week.
Yes.
If you do a Gwiddy video,
Yeah,
how about
right.
this? We got to
Nice.
collab on a Gwiddy video.
No
Get
chance.
slip
It's
cut.
double barrel. He's Gwiddy. It's Oxo.
I'm trying to think of anyone who would entertain the idea on my team, and I'm like struggling to find. Maybe
Is
my
that like a young guy?
We got 12 of them on our team, so.
Maybe my second statistician.
Ooh. That's not
Like
bad.
that.
You
That's
can
how
get 'em out
far
there.
I'm going down here. That's how far I'm going down here.
You should start going after the kids of the players.
The ball.
That's what you got to do.
Or the ball kids.
The ball kids.
Like-
yeah.
Bartosz Vednosh is not doing the Gwiddy on the volleyball court. I'm just gonna tell you that now.
These are serious ball players.
I can get David Smith's kid to do it.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get it with the kids. That's where it's at. No more.
Where
Fortnite.
are our ball kids? They're gwitting.
Yeah, throw them some Fortnite coins or something. I don't know.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right, Erik. Well, just want to say thanks for hopping on the podcast.
Yeah,
Three
thanks for having me, guys.
Stolos and Micah's cat, Bear. We just
Bear.
want to say, just remember, if you can't handle heat, goddamn kitchen. This has been another episode presented by allvolleyball.com.